popped up. Give it a second. Let it appear. Hopefully. Oh, there we go. Oh, right. Gotta bring the mic closer to my face. So used to having it a mile away. Okay, let me scoop forward, hopefully not break anything in the process. Hello, my beautiful people. Okay, I'm pretty good. Sound pretty good. Okay, everything acting kind of funky on my side. I'm gonna make sure y'all can actually hear the music. Cool. Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's update. Let's get started. This will be race 21. Yeah, hopefully this goes really well. If not, then, you know, life happens. It's okay. Hopefully this looks good. I had to lower some of the resolution and whatnot for reasons outside of my control right now, but we got to get the stream going. I want to get through 40 races today. I sincerely doubt I will, but I will try anyway, because no one can stop me. Why is that unplugged? That's why. Okay. So, yes. Jeez. My computer going. I gotta make sure my computer's okay. It is actually really warm where I'm at now. Okay, my computer's doing fine, to what I can tell. It's not the best, but here we go. 40 races is the goal for today. We're going to end at race 60, hopefully, or as close to it as possible. And so, yeah, let's be great. Oop. Oh, I'm in gold 2. Okay, it's been a second since I played. I'm not entirely too sure when the last time I played was, but I know it wasn't any time recently, which sucks, but here we are. Woo, there we go. Oh, Ben 10 over here just going crazy. It's okay. I'll get back into it. They jump and stuff. It's a win-loss scenario for me when it comes to stuff like that. That loss of speed and potential boost that you can get later on. This is Marble Zone? Yeah. I actually really like Marble Zone. As annoying as it kind of is, and all criticism I've heard about it's very valid, but, you know, it's good stuff. I enjoy Marble Zone, especially the music. Yeah, I'm back on the track. Calm down. Sound of the Hedgehog 1. Honestly, I have a hard time saying whether it is or is not over or under hype, because it is actually pretty good. Good old Sonic the Hedgehog one. But like I can also see why people don't like it as much as 2 or something along those lines. I can see why. And it's not outside of reason. So like to say it's underrated, I think would do a disservice to okay. Would do a disservice to those who dislike it for valid reason. And to say it's overrated, oh wait, to say it's underrated, yeah, and then say it's overrated is to say that those who are like, yeah, I enjoyed the game, are wrong in some kind of sense. And I don't really think either. I personally really enjoy Sonic 1. That's not the one I want. But, you know, I could see why people don't enjoy Sonic 1. Which Sonic is this? Advance, I think? Is it Advance? Can you just tell me? Oh, that's 3. I never really got to play 3 all the way through. I've never had the chance. I've heard 3 was really good. But, you know, when you don't have the chance to do such a thing, here we are. Oh, I don't actually need that on looking at it. Is it down here? Yeah. Actually talking about the Sonic trilogy. Ooh. Let's think Sonic 1. How well do I remember Sonic 1? Not well enough. I do know Marble Zone is in it. But here. I do have if this isn't Sonic 1, I know which stage is my favorite. Stages. And yes, I'm looking it up on my phone. I'm not enough of a Sonic person to know this off the top of my head. Okay, please work. Okay, I do remember these. I really enjoyed Spring Guard Zone. That is the most memorable to me. Where in the world? Okay, that website is not it. But I remember Spring Guard Zone. And that's probably my favorite zone from the game. Mainly because of the soundtrack. I don't know why I'm underground. Where I guess I'm playing a completely different race than everybody, but that's okay. Of course. Yep. Mm-hmm. Perfectly normal. Now Sonic 2, I think it's not Sky Chase. Hilltop. I really like Hilltop, personally. Cause like at the time, Green Hill wasn't overused yet. But since Green Hill's so overused now, Skytop is kind of like what I imagine new variations of it would be. If that makes sense. It's like, yeah, it's virtually the same thing, but at least it's unique. It's interesting. It has a somewhat different color palette when it's already clearly the same thing. But, like, that's okay. Because it didn't really try to not be the same thing, if that makes sense. There we go. Woo! And I just kind of liked it as it was. No, I think a game that gets too much hate, to an extent, is Sonic and the Black Knight. Like, I'm not gonna defend its gameplay because I don't think anybody reasonably could, but like it as a game, it as a concept is actually really cool, and admittedly one of the more normal things Sonic has done, like him with the sword fighting in a book. I mean, it's no crazier than him freaking running into space. And don't get me wrong, Sonic Colors is like my favorite game. And I'm not even going to say the game's like super good or something, but it is one of my favorites. And I acknowledge the fact that it has its faults. Like, I'll be the first to say, yeah, Sonic Colors isn't the best Sonic game, but it's my favorite. I love the theatrics of it. I love the music of it. It's real fun. Well, for me anyway. But Sonic Black Knight, Sonic and the Black Knight, I feel like people were so focused on it not being a certain Sonic game. And I think that's kind of an issue some of the Sonic fan base has. It's just like, it's not Sonic Adventure 3 or what the heck? Why aren't you revolutionizing the whatever? And I'm like, well, sometimes you just want to have a good time. Sometimes you want to have a little goofy goober of a time, you know? And I think that's kind of what makes Sonic interesting to me. Because, like, why complain and all that stuff about how it's not something, and instead of just enjoying it as it is? Because I think that's what you should do. If you are a fan of any genre of game, you should be able to sit back and enjoy it for what it is. I'm trying to make sure this doesn't look absolutely horrendous. And so, I think if you sit back and you try to find everything wrong with Sonic the Hedgehog, you're gonna find something wrong with Sonic the Hedgehog. It is one of the games to where you can just kind of do that. But I'm also a firm believer in Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, being his own self. And if that, yeah, being his own self, he should be allowed to do that. And every single game that is played. Please don't break. Okay, cool. Oh, a game that I think is highly underrated, but I'm not saying that it's good. Like, people hate on this game like crazy, and I understand why. But it's almost to an extent to where it's just like, this thing isn't playable. No, it's playable. It is very much playable. It's just, man, I don't remember much from it. It's Sonic Forces. Because it's not funny bad like 06. And it's not good like other games in general. But, like, to sit there and be like, this is the worst Sonic game since game. And I'm just like, well, Was it overhyped? Yeah. They promised a whole lot and gave a whole lot of nothing. But I do think Forces, in and itself, is highly, highly underrated. But it is also not a good game. Like, it's not bad, it's just not good. Yeah. What is I also think Sonic Frontiers is overrated. Which I know that would have some people absolutely losing their ever-loving mind. But, like, I do genuinely think that game's overrated. I'm not saying it's bad. But people are sitting here being like, this is the best thing since bread. And I'm just like, well, I've had more fun in other Sonic games. Personally. Not to say, again, the game is not fun or anything. The game is certainly fun, but I do think it's overrated to an extent. No, a game that now, since I think about it, that is underrated, but kind of for good reason, is Sonic Chronicles. Cause I like the fact that they went for the idea. How they executed it, we can have a discussion on that. None of it's gonna be good, but you know what? We can have a discussion on that. But the idea, I like the idea. Like, I really do. And some, how people talk about it is kind of how I expect people to talk about, like, Sonic Boom for Wii U. What is that? Rise of Lyric? I don't know how I got on the Sonic rant, but we're gonna just stay on there for a while. And so, like, to be like, yeah, you know, Sonic Boom is better than Chronicles, it's certainly subjective. Because I can't sit here and confidently say that's true. But I can sit here and confidently say that I understand why you would think so. Because I had a lot of fun with Chronicles. I remember it fondly, and that is 100% nostalgia. Because I did play it again when I got older. And I'm just like, yeah, no, I can see why people don't like this game. But you can see that care was put into it. You know? You can see that someone somewhere along the line actually cared. Because there's a lot that they get right and a lot of details that they really could have just skipped over. That Sonic team skips over, but they didn't. Because they firmly believe that details matter, and I really respect that. But sitting here and being like, yep, Sonic Chronicles is so terrible, it doesn't deserve anything. I think, personally, that it. I would like to see Sega try something like that again. Not the same story, obviously, or the same, like, just a Sonic RPG of that style would be really cool. I would really enjoy that. And to say otherwise would be downplaying the enjoyment I had with Sonic Chronicles. I keep on accident hitting my mouse. And so I don't want to be that guy and be like, Sonic Chronicles is a good game and yada yada. That'd be me lying. It is certainly a memorable game. I will give it that. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a good game, because I understand why people don't think it's a good game. I think Sonic in general has a very volatile fan base, because Sonic was throwing out banger after banger, kind of, when it first started off. And then it's hard to maintain something after, like, the Sonic Adventure, those two games, because it's at a high bar. And I personally am really bad at those two games. But, like, I can see why people have fun with them. Oh, wow. I think I skipped a race, so we're on 4? Probably? It's okay. But like, I don't think it's fair to sit here and be like, oh yeah, you know, Sonic just not good anymore. It's just not for you, maybe. Or maybe it is for you. Maybe you just don't like the new Sonic. That's okay. You're allowed to not like something. That's not illegal. And I was just sitting there and downplaying somebody else's enjoyment because you don't think it's the best Sonic game since Sonic, right? I think is dumb and very, very rude. You're allowed to enjoy games. If you're out there and you enjoy Sonic 06, like day one, like no fan whatever's, like you enjoy Sonic 06, enjoy Sonic 06. Who am I to stop you? Right? And I do have a firm belief in that. If you enjoy Sonic Unleashed or Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic 1, Sonic Colors, Sonic anything, if you enjoy that game, you have the right to enjoy that game. In my personal opinion, I am talking about a lot of Sonic. But it's like, you have the right to enjoy that. In my very personal opinion. And to sit here and kind of just undermine that would be highly rude. In my opinion, it'd be highly rude. Because who are you to sit here and be like, yeah, you don't know Sonic, or you're not allowed to enjoy Sonic because you don't enjoy the Sonic game I enjoy. Now, I'm not saying let Sega or whoever makes Sonic stuff get away with making low effort Sonic stuff. But if there's effort put into it, or somebody enjoys it, just let them enjoy it. It is so rude and so unreasonable to be like, oh, you don't like Sally Acorn from the TV show, I forget which one, or from the comics, but these very specific comics, or you don't know every ounce of lore and detail in which you could not even possibly account for. I think that's stupid. Like, genuinely. Because who are you to sit here and tell me that I have to either know everything or enjoy every ounce of Sonic that you enjoy? I'm not going to. I know I'm not going to. Like, I quite literally sat here and was like, Sonic Forces, it's alright. And I played all the way through it. I got the fancy edition because I support whoever made that. I forget off the top of my head. Like, if they made it with passion and care and they genuinely tried, of course I'm going to support that. Why would I not? You tried. You did your best to make the game fun. You did your absolute best to do that much. Why would I undermine that? Now, again, like I said, it's not my favorite Sonic game. But I'm not going to undermine people who enjoy that Sonic game. Enjoy the Sonic game. Go do the Sonic thing. I broke YouTube. Later. I misspelled the title. Or what was another one? It's like, why do you care? Isn't it going away? Isn't this going away? It's hit or miss. It's really hit or miss. I guess. I find more players that know like a random shortcut more often than not, but whatever. But yeah, I have a firm belief in like, hey, don't sit there and like judge somebody for really just enjoying something. Like, if they enjoy it, let them enjoy it. That's whatever. We're gonna listen to this is An absolutely gorgeous game in which everybody should check out. Albeit it has, like, you know, enough people for it to have a sequel, and a gorgeous sequel at that. Ori and the Blind Forest. Okay, what is another game? Well, since I'm planning to do Rocket Racing, let me tell you that, like, I personally feel like Rocket Racing has been done dirty, right? Like, you barely talk about any of the updates the game has, and then you just kind of give up on it in, I think it was a year? Which I think is insane. I'm not gonna say Rocket Racing is, like, the best racing game I've ever played. Like, I enjoy myself a little bit of Forza or Ride 6 or something like that. Like, more realistic-esque games. I'm not gonna say the realistic, but more realistic-esque. But Rocket Racing definitely could have had a place there. No, I don't want to support Epic and all their goings right now. With a lot of their choices, this would be probably one of the last things I do for Fortnite related. Maybe not Epic related, but Fortnite related at the very least. Like, unless I should do something else. Woo. Got it. But yeah, I'm gonna sit here and judge a multi-billion-dollar company for being kind of shady. But every multi-billion-dollar company is kind of shady. And I just think it's insane that you... Is that like a tech I don't know, or... I don't know. Nor do I really care. Oh, that's rough. That's actually annoying, but we don't talk about that. What was it? Yeah, Epic has done some choice decisions over the past, I think, month that I took off from this. Like, oh, I was still here. I was still doing things. It's just, there I go. I think that, like, to an extent, as much as I may have had fun with Fortnite in the past, this kind of stuff needs to happen. Epic needs an ego check because of Fortnite. Because they're like, well, we made a super game, industry defining game, and I'm just like, yeah, that's true. That's true, but that doesn't mean, one, take advantage of it, or two, lose the curiosity and interest in what you once had. Because I think that's highly disrespectful to what you once were. That person's so far ahead. I don't even know it's like a tech that I don't know at this point. But whatever. Okay. What is another thing? Oh, Ori and the Blind Forest. It doesn't make me as sad. It's a really lovely game. It is not for those who don't want, like, a kind of ridiculous challenge. It's not easy. I've always played it on the hardest difficulty that isn't hardcore, Because I don't think I could beat it on hardcore. However, you know, I've had people play it, or I've convinced people to start playing it. They're like, it's really fun. I've just lost a lot. Like, I just kept losing. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how first playthroughs go. I'm bumping everywhere. It's okay. It don't matter. Which is interesting, to say the least. 26. That admittedly just wasn't that fun, but maybe that's just me. Okay, cool. I did get that right. Play. We're goal 3. And so, ooh, what's another one that I can do? Another franchise that has been struggling for a myriad of reasons, I believe is not Fortnite, Borderlands. Because Borderlands 1, admittedly, not a bad first game. I'm not going to say it's the best Borderlands game. I don't particularly see it as so. I see it as like my second least favorite Borderlands game. And like if I were to rank them, Borderlands 3, Borderlands 2, Borderlands 4. No, that's a lie. Borderlands 3, 2, pre-sequel, 4, Borderlands 1, and then Tiny Tina's. And my reasoning for it is interesting. But it basically boils down to Borderlands 3 is my favorite. It's the one that I could play the most. Because it was okay when it came to optimization. It was okay. But admittedly, it was just really fun to play. And I'm not going to say 4 isn't fun to play. 4 is also fun to play. However, when it comes to me trying to play it, it's so terribly optimized for everything, I can't genuinely enjoy it. Because I like to play my games at like medium-low settings. And my computer really couldn't handle that. Which is insane, because it's not like I have a bad computer. Mind you, I don't have the world's greatest computer. But it's not a bad computer by any means. Ooh, I'm stretching. Pardon me. Anyhow. So Borderlands 3 is my favorite. It ran well enough on everything I played. So Xbox, on PS4, on this computer, and my last computer. I think I played it on PS5 once. But anyhow, I enjoyed it on all of them. It felt great on all of them. Borderlands 2, it's something I can keep going back to, because 1, it runs really well, and 2, it's really fun to just play in general. Borderlands pre-sequel, I think, is highly underrated. It is a really short game in comparison to the rest of them, but it also introduced two things in which modern Borderlands wouldn't really be modern Borderlands without it, and that's cryo and the slam move, or double jump, because that came back in Borderlands 4, or the like the glide thing, because that also came back in Borderlands 4. And so, like, it introduced a lot of really cool ideas, and I think people were comparing it to Borderlands 2 way too hard, which I don't think is very fair to do. Because admittedly, as much as I would love to say Borderlands 2 story is just the best, it's not perfect, as many people would like you to believe. It is really solid. It has a villain in which makes you want to hate them, which I can't even be mad at. Uh, it has characters in which I actually care about. It has all the cool little story beats that any good story would have. And yet, a lot of it doesn't make sense without the pre-sequel. So if you're just looking at it as a story and that's it, you don't want any more real explanation than that, then you don't need the pre-sequel. Enjoy Borderlands 2, have fun, bye. I'm not saying you're wrong. Everybody is entitled to have fun with whatever game they want, however the mess they want, to be honest. And I completely respect that. Like, truly. Because, like I said, who am I to sit and judge you for the game that you enjoy to play? Give or take, a few things. But it's okay. I'm not, I'm gonna do my best to just kind of respect the fact that we enjoy different games, which is allowed. But, with that being said, I wouldn't enjoy Borderlands 2 as much if it wasn't for Borderlands 3 and pre-sequel, making the story even more fleshed out, even though Borderlands 3 story was kind of terrible. And I'll say it, like, I hate talking ill about Borderlands 3 because of how much I enjoyed it, but I also acknowledge the fact that it's, especially coming after Borderlands 2, its main antagonists were barely antagonists. They were barely main. They were just kind of there being cringe and being annoying. And I get that. That's kind of what they were meant to be. But I'm just like, you can't follow up Borderlands 2 with an antagonist like this. It makes you look lazy. I'm not going to say you are lazy for it, but it certainly makes you look lazy for it. But ignoring that, right, going on about our day, and hopefully enjoying life as it is, Borderlands pre-sequel, highly underrated. I really enjoy the game. It's the game I have the third most amount of hours in, because I enjoy the game, obviously. Now, Borderlands 4. Where to start with Borderlands 4? I enjoyed Borderlands 4 like first 2 hours. Maybe even first 3 hours. But after a point, it just felt like doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it got really boring. Like, by the time I got to the Scrapper Queen, or the Ripper Queen, that's her name. Whatever her name is, the Ripper Queen, I was out of it. Like, I picked Harlow, because admittedly the other 3 Vault Hunters didn't interest me that much. So I picked Harlow, had a grand old time with Harlow, and then they're just like, yeah, so you're just going to do the same thing 3 times in a row. Why? And I get it. They were trying to find the easiest way to do a choose your own adventure or choose your own path kind of story. And admittedly, I don't know how much coding or work or any of that takes to pull off or manage much of anything when it comes to, like, oh, you chose to go to Concadia Burns, Concardia, whatever the mess it is. You went there first. So the people there talk to you wherever other location you go because you checked off that checkbox. I don't know what goes into that. I assume that would have been expensive, and I'm just going to leave my comments there. I appreciate the developers who did work on the game with whatever resources, whether that be time or actual anything else Like, whatever they had, I appreciate the developers who worked on it. Because the game, to an extent, looks good. I hate the fact that you have the Unreal 5 engine on it. It's really why I don't like Fortnite's engine so much anymore. It's hard to run. It's just hard to run now. And I'm not going to be like, it's impossible to run. No, very possible to run. I'm running it right now. I'm also running it on medium settings. Kind of. Medium-lowish settings. So it's kind of... That's ridiculous. Anyhow. So it's very much manageable. But I'm just like... You moved to Unreal 5, and now you run kind of terribly. Because everybody's like, just use ray tracing. Just use the nanite technology. It makes the game look good. And whether it does or not, I don't care. I want my game to run good. Right? I don't want to sit here and have, like, oh, I want to do medium settings today. Oh, I'm making it spicy. Woo. And have my CPU and GPU and everything else dying with it. That's unreasonable, in my opinion. Ooh, let me actually raise that race counter. But that's me. Again, that's me. Okay, cool. But yeah, Borderlands 4, its story was okay. Again, it was just doing the same thing 3 times. And then you get to the middle, and you basically do it again. The main antagonist finally makes himself known beyond, like, the first hour or 2 of the game. Because when you start off the game, brilliant presentation. You get caught, bro, it's just like, haha, I control you now. You're gonna take it. Ha ha ha. And goes on about his day. I can mess with that. I don't agree with that for obvious reasons, but, like, I can mess with that. And then you got... And then he just is gone. No reason why. He's just gone. Then you get to the end, and you're like, cool, I get to see a cool little vote. And I think... And I barely remember this. That's how uninteresting it was. I remember you go in... And spoilers for the ending of Borderlands 4, kind of. But you go into the vote. You see a thing. It's basically just nothingness and a wall. And I'm like, that's cool. You hear plot. Okay. Cool, I guess. And that's it. That's all you get. That is absolutely all you get. And I'm like, grand. Absolutely fantastic. That's it. That's it. You're telling me I, the player, get nothing. This means nothing. I did it for sunshines and rainbows. And, like, each one kinda had a reason, but it didn't feel goofy or real like Borderlands 2 or Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3, it's just cause they could. You got a murderous robot, a really buff siren, an assassin, like, and a gunner, and a massive tank. And they all just wanted to do it. They wanted it. They wanted the challenge. And then Borderlands 2, one's seeking answers. One's just insane. One, I forget why Accident was doing it. I don't play Accident enough to remember. Zero wanted the challenge. He was just bored. He's like, oh, vault hunting is difficult, isn't it? All right. That's a normal day. It's like, vault hunting is difficult. Okay. How do I do this vault hunting you speak of? And then Salvador's just insane. He's just he just likes to fight. He's like, vault hunting? Do I get to fight somebody? Yeah. Even Borderlands 1 had better motivations than that. And like Borderlands 4 is just like, I'm a salary worker. I'm curious. What was the axe guy wanted to stop the big bad cult, right? I think that's what the axe guy wanted. Which his backstory is actually interesting. Rafa's backstory is actually interesting. Because he's trying to find a way to not be dead, basically. And I'm just like, okay, pretty interesting. I forget the card dealer, Cash. I forget his backstory. I think he was like a casino bot who won sentience, a one free will for Mancubus. And he's just like, bump it, we ball. I think that's why he did it. I'm not gonna say that's why he did it, because I really don't remember. Like, if I'm being so fair, I do not remember. But, ignoring that. Right? Just being happy with what we got. Ooh, I have to play on my mind. Kind of, not really, though. But, their motivations seem kind of low. And then, like, you got everybody glazing Vex. It's just like, man, Vex is so, like, relatable and she's so cool. How, though? Because I understand they'll want to remove all customers from your site. But, like, she actually did it, though. And, like, yeah, Borderlands, whoa. Murder in Borderlands, that's just not okay. But, like, man, she's not that interesting. She's certainly not my cup of tea. I don't know what people see in her, but to each their own. Have fun with life, I guess. Like, Vex is severely overrated. All the other ones are fine. They're all, like, equally as memorable, I mean. I like Cash. Cash seems cool, but that's because he's just the newest one there. That's why I remember him. It's just the newest one on the chopping block. And probably the most powerful one, too, now since I think about it. I think Cash is, like, stupid strong if you set him up right. Which means he's gonna get nerfed. Or the enemies are gonna get stupid strong. Which I think is ridiculous. I think Gearbox kind of sits there and they're just like, did you just play the game how you want it? We can't have that. You can't play the game how you want. That's not allowed. That's illegal. No. And I'm just like, that's so stupid. Let people play the game how they want. And if they choose to make their character overpowered, I understand. And like, I have a hard time defending any changes to single player games when it comes to something being too strong. Because I feel like the player should have the right to be like, yay or nay to it. And so, that's just me. What is the next one? I think genuinely people, when it comes to Borderlands 4, it's just not fun. It's not interesting. It definitely has solid enough gameplay, but there's nothing to aim for, nothing to strive for, nothing to do. And I hate saying it like that, but it's true. Like I sit here and I look at Borderlands 4, and when I say I'm highly just uninterested to open in the game, like I'm more willing to delete the game at this point than to reopen it because I have nothing to do. On Borderlands 3, I played through like from level 1 with every single character. I played from start to finish, from level 1 to level 72, I think it is. I think that's where they stopped. On every single character at least twice. And that's because I enjoyed Borderlands 3 that much. That's cool. I'm currently doing that with Borderlands 2. I'm not going to do it twice. I'm at least doing it once, though, to show my appreciation towards every single character. Because I don't want to sit here and be like, yep, freaking Maya's my favorite because she exists. Zero's my favorite because they exist. Like, I don't want to sit here and just pick the one I picked first as my favorite and go on about my day. And now, of course, if you do that, I'm not judging you. Shoot, I'm not even blaming you. Ew, nope. And everybody who does that, I understand. Right? If you pick one character and that is your go-to character from then on, that's okay. That character worked for you. And I say let that character work for you. If you enjoy the game in your own way with that character, go for it. That's great. Loving it, right? But with that being said, I'm trying to get through the game on every single character because that's how I decide. I want to try every character before I'm like, yep, this is my favorite. And I have a strong belief that I've already played my favorite, but I could be wrong. And the fact that I could be means that, like, I gotta give them a chance. Every single one. So I gotta play through on accident. Like, I've played as Axton, but I've not played through as Axton. Salvador is fun. Maya is fun. Zero is fun. They're all fun. I got Gage and Axton to play through as now. And like, I'm not doing OP levels because OP levels is just generally uninteresting. But going on to the next game, being Borderlands 1, it's just of its time. It's not a bad game. I'm not even gonna be like, it's not interesting, it's not fun, it's not whatever. It's just Borderlands 1. Like, I like Borderlands 1 as much as I like any other game from that era. It's certainly fun. It makes me nostalgic, but I also acknowledge the fact that I have more fun with games nowadays. And it's not like low attention span brain. That's not why. The reason being is just there's more going to it other than brown, gray, and death. Like, that's something I can get with. Because when all it is sadness or caught zombies, then I'm just like, yeah, that's a choice. Not even gonna say it's the wrong choice, it's just a choice. And I do have a firm belief in that. It's just like, you can't sit there and be like, yep, all the games that from that time aren't kinda dated. Because they are kinda dated. And the games that I like now are gonna get kinda dated later. That's okay. That part, who cares? And then Tiny Tina's Wonderland. What is this? Complete quests. Okay. That's cool, I guess. Borderlands, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. It frustrated me so. Oh. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay. Yep. Alright. So, it frustrated me so. It is certainly not a game in which I think deserves as much praise as it's gotten. No, that's not what I want. I want that. Why would I want to use the other one? That's gross. Uh, cool. Cool. Yeah. So, it is praised out the rear. I don't get it. It is arguably the least interesting thing that I've played. I played through it 3 times. First time I played it normally, like how I play every other Borderlands game. Second time, why are you looking a little weird? Whatever. Second time I played through it, it was cool, I guess. I think I was just like, it's just nothing sticking to me. The villain was interesting. I didn't like the tabletop aesthetic, but I knew that was just a me thing. That was very much just a me thing. Like me sitting here saying that was a bad choice. It's a Dungeons and Dragons kind of deal. Of course they were gonna do a tabletop aesthetic, and of course it was gonna be really cool. I like the concept. I just didn't like it. It just made everything so slow. It made me feel like it took 20 years to get anywhere. And again, that's just me being impatient. The random encounters, that was fine, albeit it was in kind of generic locations. I like the idea. The guns were uninteresting for me. The magic was really cool. The focus on the focus on the not gun part, pretty cool. Whereas there wasn't it didn't really run well on my computer, but that's just this like first world problem, I guess. Okay, there we go. What is another one? Yeah, I really did not like the gunplay in it. And then the straw that broke the camel's back for me is when I did a no skill point playthrough. So I didn't allocate a single skill point, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, this doesn't feel any different than me spending all my skill points. Like, yeah, match element, you do fine. Then I did it on the hardest difficulty. I did the mushroom guy and the ice one. I don't even know if that's like a strong combo. I just liked the idea of having a mushroom guy. And then I realized it's pointless when I can't allocate a singular skill point. But I think it gave me a mushroom guy anyway. I don't know. But I know I didn't get that little tutorial on skill point until the very end after beating the... Whoop. Well, I'm over here now. I didn't get the allocation on skill point tutorial until, you know, the very end of the game after the final boss. And I was just like, that is just uninteresting. And yeah, it took absolutely freaking forever. The bosses took a crazy long time. And like they were certainly designed around you actually using skill points. But I was just like, dude, I've never been so uninterested before. Which sucks, because I really, really wanted to enjoy the game. And I just knew it wasn't going to happen. And then, what was the next part? Cool. And it just compared to the other games, I just didn't have fun with it like I usually would have. Now, okay. I'm trying to think of other games. So Pokemon. Let's talk about Pokemon. So I think Pokemon gets a justified amount of hate, almost. Almost. There are certainly people who take it too far in both directions. And the Pokemon company's sheer lack of care for their franchise is annoying. Because I was playing Pokemon ZA. Yes, I'm part of the problem. Sorry. Anyhow, I was playing Pokemon ZA, and I was just like, yeah, I'm having my own kind of fun with it, you know? Like, I'm messing with Pokemon ZA, but I also understand why people don't like it. Like, I can see the laziness. I can feel the laziness. I can feel, to an extent, a lack of thought when it comes to just like, oh, well, time to do the same thing over again. Just hit a crap ton of buttons. And I get how that's not very interesting. All of it valid. All of it very valid. And then I sit here and I'm like, how to describe to someone Pokemon ZA? And I said, take some of the things that made Pokemon X and Y what it was, which is a surprisingly compelling story. I'm not gonna say it's the best story. Pokemon X and Y is certainly my favorite story, but you know, but yeah, take Pokemon X and Y and make it a less interesting and less customization. That's the part that really got me, is the less customization thing. Because what do you mean that Pokemon ZA has no dresses? Like, are you kidding me? I was genuinely offended by that. Now, you can wear whatever outfit as whomever, but like, no dresses, man? Really? Pokemon X and Y was the fashion game. And I don't even know why. It just kind of was. And you're telling me not a singular dress, not a singular skirt. And I have a theory as to why, but in reality, it was probably just laziness. That's okay. Well, it's not okay for Pokemon, but like, it's okay for me to just not overthink it and just see it as it is. The other Pokemon games, Sword and Shield. Man, is it ever hard to defend a game, especially a Pokemon game nowadays? It's just like, I had a time. I can't really confidently say fun time, but I had a time in Pokemon Sword. And it was really funny, because I think it was Radical Soda I was watching. And he's just like, yeah, it's a straight line. The map does not lie. Pokemon Sword, straight line. And I'm just like, that is absolutely hilarious. It's not good, but it was really funny. Because it was genuinely just a straight line. And I'm like, okay. But I made fun. I made my fun where I could. Because the wild areas are genuinely impressive, albeit the textures were from a Nintendo 64 game. And even that's insulting to Nintendo 64. But I had my fun with it. I also see why people didn't. Then Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Man, talk about a game you can't defend. I really have fun with Scarlet and Violet. I really understood why people didn't. A painfully low frame rate. The lack of Pokemon, which I kind of understand. There's so many at this point that having all of them over in the region is kind of ridiculous. But ignoring that, that's whatever. Lag, bugs, glitches, all that stuff. Wholeheartedly understand. Wholeheartedly agree with. I don't condone Pokemon's sheer laziness when it came to it. However, I liked having a free roam Pokemon game, albeit it wasn't a really free roam. It was free roam suggested, and that was funny to me, but that's about it. I gotta lock in for a second. Okay. Anyhow, it was free roam suggested, but in reality, you're supposed to go to like the Bug Lady first. I think it was the Bug Lady first. Then who was it? The grass guy. Like, you basically went counterclockwise. If I'm remembering it right. No, that's not right. You went kind of zigzaggy to the top. That was it. And I know I didn't do it in order. But since I didn't, there were those gyms or the star people battles in which I was severely over leveled or severely under leveled. I remember I did the Bug Lady first. Not because, I felt like I should have. But I was just like, oh, this feels like an area I shouldn't be in. Albeit it was the area I was supposed to be in. And then the next person I fought was the Ice-type gym leader. And I was just like, I was just dumbfounded. I was like, how is this supposed to be possible? Because in my head, I think it's going to scale accordingly. No, it did not. Right? It certainly did not scale accordingly. I was like, I feel gypped. And rightfully so, because I was gypped. But, with that being said, I played, I did that, and then I went to the fairy type? I think it was fairy type? The one in the bottom left of the map? I went to that one, I was like, yep, that's pretty cool. And then went on about my day, because, again, just a sucker for fairy type. Not a sucker for fairy type, sucker for Pokemon, I mean. And then, yeah, I just kind of went really out of order. I did a singular Miraidon upgrade, and yes, I got Pokemon Violet. Yeah, I think that's Miraidon. But anyhow, I got Pokemon Violet, and I was like, yo, I got Pokemon Violet because I like the color purple. If I'm being so honest, I just like the color purple. And so I got Pokemon Violet. I played through Pokemon Violet. The game got scarily real though at the end. Spoiler warning, just real quick. Like you're like, oh, you know, typical Pokemon game. You don't have a dad like in every other Pokemon game. But in this one, they have a reason why you don't have a dad. And then you do it again. You have an AI who replaces your dad. And they're just like, wow. Wow. Well, not your dad. It's like a side character's dad. But either way, it's insane to think about. I'm like, what? Okay, spoiler stuff over. And I'm just like, dude, that's a way to end a game. And then they just kind of go on about their day, like it's normal, like that is normal. Yeah, no, that's not normal. Like, I'll sit here and be the first to say it. That is not normal. And so, I had a good little giggle with that. Mainly for the sheer fact that it's just like, wow, that got really dark. Really fast. And Area Zero, man, it could have been really pretty if it didn't run at like half a frame a second. But, you know, all of that said and done, I enjoyed Pokemon Violet. Yes, I did get the DLC. Yes, I am part of the problem. And I played through the DLC. I enjoyed the DLC. Now, a game that I think gets a lot of hate, I'm not too sure why it gets a lot of hate, but it does, is Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm very confused on why it gets the hate that it does. Because people are just like, yeah, it's an ugly game. Or it doesn't run well. I'm like, compared to the other stuff that you have to compare it to, the only game that does any better is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And that's just Kanto again. For like the 90th time. I wasn't even alive during the like Gen 1 era. And I'm tired of Gen 1. Because it got remade, redone, retold, resized, recolored, re-dramatized. Well, I don't know how the mess people do that. They got all the and I'm just like, yep, that is a Pokemon generation, which is not that good. Like, just objectively, just not that interesting. Mind you, more interesting than some of the Pokemon generations we've been getting, but the bar was low. What is another game I had a lot of fun with? Pokemon Sun and Moon, specifically Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I have my gripes about the game, but overall, I really like Sun and Moon. I probably put the second most amount of hours into Sun and Moon, preceded by X and Y. X and Y was probably forever be my favorite. It's that fun of a game to me. The customization's unmatched. Being able to explore more than just the freaking tower, Pokemon ZA. Woo. Anyhow, being able to explore more than just the tower, that's pretty cool. And yeah, Pokemon X and Y, I just really like it. As cheesy and as all that as it is, it's certainly a game. Pokemon Black and White, I've had a lot less experience with. However, I will say, really fun game. It did a lot with the limited DS hardware, and it deserves a level of remake in which I don't think Pokemon can give right now. Because people are begging for it to come back, and I'm like, with what they've been putting out, I don't think it would do Pokemon Gen 5 justice. It didn't do Gen 6 justice, and it didn't even do a Gen 6 remake. They didn't do Gen 6 justice. They didn't do I don't think they do Gen 5 justice. I don't think they do Gen 4 justice. Wait, which one was Gen 4? I know Pearl and Diamond's one of the two, but I don't know if it's 3 or 4. Pokemon Gen 4. They didn't do Pokemon 4 justice. Oh, but I had fun with Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. They didn't do Diamond and Pearl justice. They're not gonna do Gen 3 justice. I think that's their run goal. What is Gen 2? Gold, silver. What is Gen 3? Ruby, Sapphire. Ooh, I was like, I'm forgetting one of them. That's terrible. Whatever. I think Omega Ruby and Mega Sapphire were actually pretty good. Kind of wish they were on the Switch, but it's okay. I enjoyed Omega Ruby. That's the one I got. I can't say that it did it justice or anything like that. Because that'd be unfair to the original Ruby and Sapphire, in which I've never played. What was the next one? Right. Hello? Okay. Pokemon Gen 1 is just overdone, man. Just like, it's so painfully oversaturated. And which game? It probably was Gold and Silver, thinking about it. But it was a Pokemon game that had its game and the entirety of freaking Kanto in it. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's really cool. And then they just kept doing Kanto. And I'm like, I think y'all missed the point. Like, if we can get a Pokemon game that had every single region accessible, one, that'd be a massive Pokemon game. And two, that'd be really freaking cool. It'd be like, Pokemon, if they're going for the greed tactic, so two, it'd be Pokemon. Dawn and Dusk. There you go. Pokemon Dawn and Dusk. Dawn has the first 5 generations. Dusk has the latter 5 generation. Like, accessible from the get-go. And then, let me not give them terrible ideas, because they're going to release Dawn and Dusk and it's going to be like, oh, you want to visit Unova and Johto. Yeah, I picked one or the other, man. It's either that or everybody's gonna be so happy to go back to Unova that they'll only get Dusk. Which I think would do Dawn a disservice. But I think that'd be really freaking cool thinking about it. Like, Pokemon Dawn and Dusk, man. Or, I guess that's Sun and Moon again. But they're doing winds and waves, so Dawn and Dusk checks out. Or Apple and Pear. There you go. Or Pokemon, great. You don't want Dawn and Dusk, Summer and Winter. There you go. Jeez, man. Got a haul. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. How are they so far ahead? Okay, I made it. That's all that matters, but jeez, man. Wow, that's insane. What is, but yeah. Like, I would really like the idea of Pokemon Summer and Winter, or Spring and Fall, or Dawn and Dusk, or something, to where it's like Pokemon, but you can go everywhere. You can go to all the places that they design, and I want them to take their time on it so they can, like, you can have fun. Now, would they ever? No, but trying to make sure I didn't skip anything. Okay. But, you know, with that being said, what would be another good one? Pokemon, but like pirates. I like that idea. Pokemon, but pirates. And I say that because, like, I think that'd be pretty cool. You're not really stuck to one region, or the region kind of like Alola, to where it's just a series of islands. But, like, you're on the back of Werelord or something. You know, that'd be pretty cool. But I'm really stuck on the idea of like a universal Pokemon game to where you can go to all the regions. But of course they would have to redo that every long time to make sure all the regions can stay up, like the game can stay up to date per se. But ooh, I'm getting into those very small lobbies, and it's real boring in the front. But yeah, Pokemon has been doing a lot of not so great things and a lot of great things, and I have a hard time being like, this Pokemon game is fun to me, without people rightfully being like, but don't condone it, you know? No, a franchise that was doing good for a while and just kind of gave up is The Sims. Because holy bananas, what do you mean it's $1,600 to get the DLC for The Sims 4? That is ridiculous. That is absolutely insane. There's no right, like, and it's not even like all the DLC are painfully expensive individually. It's just there's so many. Why can't you do like a labor of love type deal like what's the game name? One No Man's Sky, I think. I was about to say One Man's Sky. No Man's Sky, I think it's called. Like why can't you do a game like that? You know, that's just pure labor of love right there. And I admittedly do not know how they do it. Or like just not that, not whatever you're doing. Cause $1,600 of just DLC. I could buy a used instrument, which I'm a music major, so that would check out. I could do a lot of things with $1,600. Well, to an extent within this economy. Gotta keep it realistic, you know. But like, God, dog, Sims. And they ain't even a Sims 5. They ain't no photorealistic Sims or nothing. And I'm not saying there needs to be a photorealistic Sims. That'd be insane. But, like, it'd be pretty funny. Oh, I got on the same freaking map this guy did. I really am tired of this guy. And I don't even care that he's better. He's so much better. It's not even funny. Oh, that's unfortunate. Or he's cheating. Either one, I don't care. It's just not interesting. But yeah. Anyhow, back to my nonsensical rants about game. It's just like, how do you reasonably sit there and just keep adding just meaningless garbage, you know? Like, how do you do that? And you can't like actually do that, like, without knowing what you're doing. Because that's why there's so many mods when it comes to Sims 4. And I was like, man, people just really like The Sims, and they really do. They really do like The Sims. So they're going to mod the mess out of it so they don't have to buy your intentional cash grab after cash grab after cash grab after cash grab. And whether or not it is warranted, why? Sims, why? Yeah, I've been talking about a lot of games. Yeah, the world's in an interesting state now. That's all I got when it comes to gaming. There's so much that I could talk about, but like, let's keep it in the realm of gaming, yeah? But I'm kind of tired of games being made with care and passion and love and interest and genuine concern for like the player. And not to be politically correct or anything. It's just I want this kind of player, so I'm going to design this kind of game. Why is that so? Whoa, like, really? Really? That's how low the bar is now? You cannot be serious. You cannot look me in the face and be like, oh yeah, that's a well-designed game. You can't look at me in the face and say that, because you know it's not true. I mean, in the sense of like the games that aren't made with care and love. So like I look at Fortnite now and what it used to be, and I'm just like, you can't you can't sit there and be like, yep, this is the great game it always was. No, it's not. No, it's not. It is not the great game it used to be, because it's virtually not the same game it used to be, which is fine. That part's perfectly fine. But like, I can't sit there and be like, yep, yep, they did that. They did that right. Because typically they didn't. Or I have to look at it as an exception, and I hate that. I hate having to look at a game as an exception. You know? Because if you have to look at a game and be like, yep, that's the exception. What do you mean that's the exception? That's stupid. Hold the and like you actually got to do something, and the something is vote with your wallet. Like pure and simply, if a game franchise or game company is doing something like intentionally scummy or cheap or whatever, then hold them accountable. Like, do exactly that. Be the customer who doesn't, like, buy anything. Don't be a consumer. Be a customer. Be custom. Be you. And so if that means you look at the game and you're like, bump that. That doesn't look fun. Do that. There's too many people out here just like, but it's Pokemon. It could be fun. Like, if, in today's market, I have a hard time being like, it could be, and I just try something new. Unless it's like really well acclaimed. And then I'll give it a shot, and even then it's after very careful consideration. Like Ghost of Tsushima, very well reviewed, and it's a great game. If you can, and if you're willing, you should try it. You 100% should try out Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima. I say it so weird. Tsushima. Tsushima? I don't know. That game. I haven't tried Ghost of Yote, so I'm not going to say anything on Ghost of Yote. But I heard really good things about Ghost of Tsushima. And I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I messed with it, man. It's a really fun game. And if Ghost of Yote comes out on PC, I'll also play it. Mainly because I just don't have a PlayStation 5. And hopefully it does come out to where, because I've heard some things about the game, and I want to be able to play the game and give it its fair criticism for me. Because I'm not going to say Ghost of Yote is or is not bad without at least watching it all the way through. You know? Because I think that'd be ridiculous and very, like, a self-fulfilling prophecy type feel. And so, yeah. Holy crap. Doing 100 races takes a lot of time. And it's nothing compared to like 100 days of Minecraft or whatever. But jeez, like you're sitting here doing virtually the same thing, which is why I'm upset that they gave up on rocket racing so soon. Because they could have done a lot with this, and now it's virtually just, pardon me, it's virtually just the same thing over and over and over and over again. And so, even though it's only been like an hour and a half, it feels like I've been here forever. Now before, it took me about 2 hours to get through 20 races. This took me an hour and a half ish, more like an hour and 40 minutes to get through 20 races. And if I were willing to stay up for 2 more hours and do this, then we could probably get to 60. Because I want to do 40 today and 40 tomorrow. But I just don't think that's realistic for me. I know. Sure. There we go. What is a game that I can think of in these last two races that I'm doing today? Another a game that proves that companies can do better though is Cyberpunk, because they released it in the worst state, and people bought into it. And whether that was dumb or not, we just have the benefit of hindsight to be able to tell. But there you go. Man, I wish I had that much. So snaking is just kind of the thing now? Alright. Sure. Forgot what was I doing. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Cyberpunk. So whether it was dumb or not to buy into it or not, I don't know. It's a good game now, which I'm happy that it is. Because they're like, yeah, we did the fan base a disservice, which is so rare to see in game companies nowadays. It's always, oh, well, if you don't like it, don't play it. You need players. Fair multi-billion-dollar company that is only a multi-billion-dollar company because of players. Oh, there I go. There you go. And so I sit here. I'm like, how do y'all make decision after decision after decision after decision and look dumb every single time? Look dumbfounded. Like, what was the game? What is it called? Obscure? No, not Obscure. Because I'm thinking Claire Obscure. What is the game? Forsaken. That's the name of the game. Man, that game is trash. And I'm like, how are you gonna mad at your audience for not liking the game that you put out to please them? What? Our last race. Woo! Race number 40. Anyhow, so like, too many games do that. They're like, it's your fault for not having fun with my game that I made for you so you can enjoy it. Why aren't you enjoying the game that I made for you? Why are you getting upset? Like, if you made a legitimately good game, I would legitimately enjoy it. But clearly you did not, so bump off, please. And that's me. That is 100% a me thing. But like, how, man? All right, positive notes, positive energy for the end. Um, so music is a great thing for everyone to enjoy. I'm not saying go enjoy all music, but give new music a chance. And even if you don't end up enjoying it, you at least can be confident in saying, yeah, it's not my thing. And that is perfectly okay. That is perfectly acceptable because music is music. Music is like, it is quite literally in like the definition a new language, but like any language, there's words that you want to say, there's words that you don't want to say, there's words that you want to hear, there's words that you don't want to hear, and that's genres of music, in my opinion, right? And that's how I treat music, right? Oh, I gotta lock in. There you go. So that's how I treat music, and I know a lot of people are just kind of like, this music is ride or die. Only this artist actually counts for that music. And I'm just like, that's crazy work. Really, truly. Because what do you mean you're just going to sit there and tell me that I can't enjoy jazz, like neo jazz, because it's not by Miles Davis? Charlie Parker wasn't on that record. Like, huh? Because there's people who do that to me. Because I'm a bass trombonist when it comes to jazz band. I'm a bass trombonist in the big band around here in the, I'm just going to say the Alabama area. And so, like, I'm a big fan of just big band stuff to where the bass trombone gets to do bass trombone things, which is be obnoxiously loud, and it's so cool. And I love it when the bass trombone texture is just kind of there. I love it when the bari sax texture is just kind of there. Not overpowering, but definitely just present. I love it. I absolutely adore it. But they're like, Miles Davis didn't write it like that. Okay. I appreciate for Miles Davis for all the really cool literature that he gave to the world, and the style in which he showed the world is possible. I appreciate Charlie Parker for how he played. I'm trying to remember all the cool names, but you know, I only think of more modern guys due to classes and whatnot. But I'm just like, yeah. Anyhow, enjoy music. Love music the way you want to love music. You're not wrong for enjoying whatever music you want to enjoy. And so, be great, have fun, and remember that at the end of the day, you are you, and that is amazing. Anyhow,